From scenic Colorado Springs, Colorado, it is the USL Jägermeister Cup tonight, presented by Common Spirit Health as the Colorado Springs Switchbacks welcome Western Conference rivals San Antonio FC in a Group 2 tilt in the Jaeger Cup tonight. Alongside the coach, Eric Dobransky, I'm Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us. And coaching Group 2, this really is a pivotal game. The winner could control their own destiny the rest of the way.
It is, because New Mexico United dropped points to Phoenix Rising with that PK loss. So this match right now could really go a long way in defining what Group 2 looks like moving forward.
And both teams play again at the weekend in Jaeger Cup play, so we'll see how that impacts things. The one big cloud hanging over this rivalry is the fact that Colorado Springs hasn't beaten San Antonio in their last 14 meetings in all competitions. They're trying to end the voodoo against SAFC here tonight. And well, Coach, the last time they played, very similar circumstances. They had a lead, they threw it away.
And I was going to say, they probably felt well on their way to picking up their first 3 points against San Antonio. It was a tale of two very different halves for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. 2-goal advantage going into the break. Then a complete flip of the script. 3 second-half goals for San Antonio in a 13-minute span. Sandwiched in there was a red card to Real. And then San Antonio held a large advantage in total shots, 17-8. Most importantly, 2 inside the box for Colorado Springs.
That was back in late April, and they're hoping that the likes of Marco Micheletto, who's our KEG 1 Modelo player to watch, can help turn things around tonight.
Yeah, he is the creative engine in midfield and has an eye for goal and consistently contributes to chance creation with high-class final pass and his progressive movement.
On the other side of things, you go from a chance creator in Marco Micheletto to a chance finisher in Juan Agudelo for San Antonio.
And Sean, it's his ability to manipulate time and space in the box, which is where both are limited. The veteran forward is clever and crafty with his movement and showcases that clinical threat that makes him effective and efficient.
Will this long drought for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks against San Antonio finally come to an end tonight? Or will the Texans continue to hold their number in the Jägermeister Cup and in all competitions? This pivotal Group 2 matchup is coming up next.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at McDivittLaw.com.
McDivitt.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Well, today's player walkouts are presented by Children's Hospital Colorado. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, your entire crew. Happy to have you with us for some midweek USL Jaeger Cup action. And Coach, we dive in to the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Phil Long. And James Chambers makes 4 changes from the team that lost to Lexington 5 days ago.
Yeah, John, I'd look out for the work that Aiden Rocha does underneath Micheletto and Fontana, as he'll be pivotal to eliminating any of those transitional threats San Antonio look to create, and allows for that freedom of that front 5 and then solid along the back line, anchored by Captain Matt Mahoney.
It'll be interesting to see if the Switchbacks can finally get that win over a much changed Carlos Llamosa San Antonio side. We counted 9 changes from the team that lost at New Mexico.
And you go up and down the lineup, and it is a mix of veterans and newcomers to the 11. Carlos Llamosa seeking balance with that rotation. In the back, you have the experience of Alexis Swahi with the new arrival of Abdi Salim. How do they complement each other and then influence both boxes?
Well, we're really looking forward to this one, but we have just been told that there is a weather delay here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. The rain has just continued to increase more and more as pregame has gone along. When we have updates on a start time, we will pass them along, but for now, we'll be in a weather delay here in the USL Jägermeister Cup in Colorado Springs. Welcome back to Widener Field in Colorado Springs, Colorado, everybody. Presented by Common Spirit Health. It's the USL Jägermeister Cup here tonight. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky here with you after the weather delay. Colorado Springs and San Antonio. We take another look at the starting lineups, brought to you by Phil Long. James Chambers' side trying to get a first win over San Antonio for Colorado Springs since 2019.
And let's see, after this weather delay, if this lineup can come out firing on all cylinders. I mean, they got off to a fast start against Lexington SC on Friday night, just weren't unable to convert some of those opportunities they created. After this delay, do you lean on the experience? Do you lean on some of that rhythm that you're playing with right now and get off to a quick start?
On the other side of things for Carlos Llamosa in San Antonio, going to be hard for them to find rhythm with 9 changes.
And that quick start from Colorado Springs against a lineup that is very fresh for Carlos Llamosa on the San Antonio FC side. Again, a blend of veteran leadership and veteran experience, but a lot of new faces in this 11 that for a second game in Group 2 play that can mean a lot to both these teams.
San Antonio called up 5 academy players yesterday to be a part of this match day squad in the Jägermeister Cup. Only one of them gets a start. That's Leonidas Urruti, who we're going to be talking about it throughout the match. For Colorado Springs, it's roughly the same team we've been accustomed all year for the champions of the USL under James Chambers. Likes of Micheletto, who we highlighted before the weather delay. Try to pick up the slack. One of the big storylines surrounding the Switchbacks, of course, is that Justin Dillon, for personal reasons over a week ago, left the club, and he was their leading goal scorer. Yeah,
a lot of familiarity in the Colorado Springs lineup tonight. Obviously, the absence of the departure of Justin Dillon, but can you kind of continue to stack performances and find who that player is going to be in the attacking box? And for San Antonio FC, with the newcomers, you already had a lot of thinking going into the match, and then you get the delay. How much more did you add on? Did it calm your nerves, or did it really enhance some of those feelings as well?
Well, Trevor Wiseman is our head official. He's in neon green. The Switchbacks on their home patch will get us started on this important second match day for these two in Group 2. The USL Jägermeister Cup. The winner tonight really could control their own destiny to winning this group and advancing to the knockout stage as one of the 6 group winners and avoid being in that wild card chase for those 2 wild card spots. But of course, the Switchbacks are fighting against history tonight. 14 in a row without a win over San Antonio in all competitions. The last 2 defeats in particular against San Antonio were both heartbreakers, having a lead in Texas earlier this year and throwing it away. They had a lead at home against San Antonio in the league last season, and they threw that away here at Widener Field in stoppage time. The Switchbacks, particularly since that latter of the 2, have gone on to become USL Championship winners, and they're hoping that even with a changed squad since that final, of course, they can finally end the voodoo here tonight. Some pressure there from the Switchbacks. A first appearance for Daniel Namani in goal, who actually captains the side tonight. He does give this away, and that's Quincy Hewerman, who unleashes a vicious left-footed strike but could not hit the target.
And you can see the energy from Colorado Springs Switchbacks in all facets of the game thus far. That ball was popping off their foot, and then early pressure forcing San Antonio FC into a turnover, and then an opportunity early.
That's the one thing for San Antonio tonight. Yes, you have some regulars in there. Almir Soto, Juan Aguidello, Nicky Hernandez, guys that have had some time. Jimmy Medranda in the starting 11 as well. But so much inexperience, even from someone like an Abdi Salim. Just his second appearance with San Antonio since signing a 25-day contract 5 days ago.
And for Colorado Springs Switchbacks and James Chambers, you would dare to say that a lineup like this, and even the way that San Antonio has played thus far this season, will lean more into that transitional play, that counter-attacking opportunity. You're probably not going to see a team that is in rhythm and that cohesive unit in possession. I mean, obviously you already saw the turnover building out of the back from San Antonio. They will look to try to build through the phases a bit. But when you have that collective 11 that does not have that continuity, does not have that familiarity, you're going to look for some of those dangerous opportunities in the counterattack. So can you minimize and limit those chances if you're a Colorado Springs Switchbacks player, and how do you do that? You do that with first ball pressure. You do that with closing down the spaces and winning the battle of proximity.
The feed there, Johnson trying to find Micheletto. It was cut out. Lovely San Antonio switch of play onto this far side. It could open up for an early opportunity here for Carlos Llamosa's side. It was a bit of a slip as the shot went over the top and out of play from the 32-year-old Juan Agudelo. Captains San Antonio tonight. Second ball rolls onto the pitch. As we take a look at tonight's injury report, it's presented by Common Spirit Health. There are some players listed there, of course. Hernandez, Pacheco, Omar, Grieve, and Osorio were all either questionable or not available tonight, which is, of course, part of why the Academy players have been brought in for San Antonio. But certainly a lack of resources will be playing a part tonight.
And you hit that stretch where you're approaching the midway portion of the season, in the regular season, and both these teams now attacking 2 straight Jägermeister Cup matches, one tonight and then Saturday. So we knew we were probably going to get a bit of a glimpse of squad rotation, but not quite as much as we've seen now from Carlos Llamosa's side. But then it just goes back to both these teams and what they accomplished in game 1 as this terrific ball played in.
This is Micheletto. Was able to keep the ball in for a moment, but then it slides out of play. And it's going to be a T. Rowe Price corner. Invest with confidence as the Switchbacks will look to provide the right service inside the 18-yard box here.
Good ball in, just unable to get his footing around and make the play. But both these teams coming off 1-0 clean sheets in their first games, and we've already seen it across the board in the Jägermeister Cup. If you don't get that early result, you are already trying to climb yourself back in. So these are 2 teams that sit in prime position. If you pick up 3 points tonight, I mean, you can control Group 2.
Switchbacks had an impressive opening win in the Jaeger Cup against El Paso. Been incredibly impressive under Wilmer Cabrera's tutelage this season. As you mentioned earlier, San Antonio winning at Phoenix by a 0-0 as well. Wenzy Hewerman will take the corner for the Switchbacks. So the far side of the 6, too far. It's over everybody's head. It actually hits off the corner flag and bounces out for a San Antonio goal kick as he was trying to find the captain of the Switchbacks, Matt Mahoney. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. It'll be interesting to see Daniel Namani here tonight. First appearance this season for San Antonio. No Sanchez tonight. He's been so reliable. Carlos Llamosa so far this season. That'll be another talking point among many. A much changed San Antonio side as Levante Johnson here was played into him, but he was caught offside.
And that's why on a delivery like that corner by Hewerman, you want to put it in the mix. You want to put it in an area where you make the goalkeeper have to work through some traffic, have to make some decisions, so you get an early glimpse of what that's going to look like early and often. And unfortunately, just clipping it too far, putting his team in a position where they can make a play there, but an area that they'll continue to try to grow into.
This is dangerous build-up play here for San Antonio, and they do get a shot away as well. That was the youngster, Oluti. first appearance just signed yesterday amongst the other 4 academy products for San Antonio. Looked pretty good right there.
And a good blend of possession, but that quick strike ability. You link a couple passes together and then you unlock that space higher up the field. Get the young player in the final third, and be fascinating to see the impact and influence that you get from those youngsters.
Carlos Llamosa was quoted as saying that the academy kids did really well in a May friendly against Las Palmas, and that any time they've been called into first team training, they've impressed him and the rest of the coaching staff. That's why they're getting this opportunity with numbers, at least at the moment, relatively thin in some perspectives. And again, 4 of those academy players are on the bench tonight for San Antonio. It's still a relatively inexperienced 11 overall, particularly this season. We have a veteran in Shannon Gomez in there, but he hasn't played this season in the USL Championship after making 27 appearances last year. Huerman's ball in is deflected. Micheletto keeps it going for the Switchbacks and finds Quincy Huerman, whose first time ball across is deflected, and then volleyed by Micheletto. Blocked away. The cross back in is deflected. Akeem Ward tried to pick out a teammate. Namani is there for San Antonio.
And Sean, going back to the academy signings for San Antonio and just the overall picture of the approaches from each of these clubs towards the Jägermeister Cup, because, I mean, we talked about it pregame, was how some of these teams could really use these performances to catapult themselves into not only the regular season, but a solid performance in a tournament that a lot of these coaches have continued to emphasize. When you have silverware out there to win, you're going out to win it. Now, there is no question that you're going to have to see squad rotation. You're going to have to see players step into some roles and play significant minutes. But the importance to these clubs and these organizations, these coaches, has stayed at the forefront. So how do you navigate that? And obviously for James Chambers, as we see the replay here on the foul on Fontana, and in a position where they could take advantage of putting the ball right in that mix, and again, testing Namani.
It's a free kick scoring opportunity brought to you by Underline, delivering gigabit fiber internet, underline.com/COS. Micheletto stands over it. Former Mexico United player, former Columbus Crew 2 player. MLS Next Pro. High arcer, too high, and how to play. That's another missed opportunity for the Switchbacks from a set piece.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2 restarts that they do not get anything out of. You have to like the pace that they're setting right now. I mean, the pressure they're putting off the ball, and then that ball coming off their foot, decisiveness.
One thing that James Chambers had said earlier in the week, they're still not clicking on all cylinders, the Switchbacks. He admitted that earlier this week. And like you said earlier, Coach, it feels like this could be an opportunity for them to really gain some of that confidence back. But an example of maybe not clicking on all cylinders, great momentum there, but 2 set pieces and didn't create anything from them.
Yeah, and I think what they're looking towards is not only putting it all together in the attacking box, but putting a complete performance together. I think you look back at their most recent game against Lexington, at Lexington, my goodness, they came out flying. I mean, within that first 5 minutes, you feel like that there was 2 goals there for them. Ball went wide, and the free kick hit a crossbar. I mean, they created opportunity after opportunity. We talked about, and we highlighted the match previously against San Antonio, taking a 2-0 lead into the break. I mean, a lot of teams would feel really good about that. Obviously, the dreaded scoreline of the 2-0 is one of the most dangerous scorelines in football, but the way they were playing, San Antonio storms right back, grabs all 3 points.
This is Levante Johnson. Oh, he nearly found Micheletto right on the penalty spot. But San Antonio does enough defensively, and I think this will be brought back for a free kick for the visitors here.
And I think this is something that I'm interested to see tonight is the complement of Levante Johnson, because he is electric on the ball and he has the ability to add that variability to this front line for the Switchbacks. Can stretch a back line, work in front of a back line, good in link-up play. You can see the patience there on the ball and almost picked out the late run of Micheletto.
He feels like a player now that Justin Dillon has moved on.
100%.
Could really slide in there and make a big impact.
100%, because every time he's come on, you felt like the game shifted. You felt like his impact and his influence was felt. Now can he do that at a higher clip now that Justin Dillon has departed and left the club? And now it's the responsibility to own that role and start creating and be ruthless in those moments where you're in the final third.
Lovely cross-field ball out to this far side, and San Antonio could be in here, the layoff, but wonderful backtracking from Juan Tejada. It's going to be a corner on the far side.
What a ball in from Soto, but just lacked this final pass. Brought down really well, but you could see this was chopped at and allowed Tejada back in the play.
It's McDivitt Law Firm corner. McDivitt is in your corner. Tejada, one of the huge holdovers from last year's championship winning side under James Chambers. It's Madronda gets set to take this for San Antonio. Want to maybe grab the lead here against the run of play in these 14 minutes and change that have gone by. To the near side. Oh, it nearly was headed towards the goal. It's all the way back out for a reset for San Antonio. Back out for Madronda on the far side. He clips it towards the 6. Again, Switchbacks do enough to get it cleared for the moment. San Antonio can replenish the attack with Shannon Gomez. This is Almir Soto. Gonna split the lines for the Switchbacks, but it's given away by Fontana. The feed over the top is to no one in particular. It's a goal kick. Sunbelt Rentals, local hustle, national muscle. Switchbacks trying to flex their muscles in these early 15 minutes of play. Haven't found that sting yet. Hoping to maybe grab it here with Hewerman leading the charge off the Johnson feed. Hewerman cuts inside and ends up getting dispossessed. He thought he was fouled. Nothing doing, says the referee. After another challenge comes in, the Switchbacks will reset with Matt Mahoney. And the Widener Field Bluebirds let you know what they think of that decision. Matt Real on the far side, a reset for the Switchbacks. It's square by Lacroix. Micheletto for Ward on this near side, who tried to pick out Johnson and had it cut out. But it's won back by Mahoney, who steps in well. Switch of play by Rocha out to the far side. Tejada. Attack down this far left-hand channel is stood up. Does have Fontana. Fontana plays it forward. Johnson's little flick, but Tejada will not get there in time.
Hewerman has been instrumental in getting this attack going, but see the play there defensively. Right now, San Antonio is doing a good job of being selective with the moments they can go forward, but also executing at a quality level defensively, especially with a back line that is not familiar with each other. Two new center backs. See the outside backs who have a little experience from Shannon Gomez as a right back, but Ronda stepping in at left back.
There's another underline free kick, delivering gigabit fiber internet, underline.com/COS. Reverse ball in behind here for Michieletto, and he did get there, Michieletto. The shot was blocked by Nemani. It's blocked out of play. Throw-in's taken quickly. Michieletto not offside, of course. Johnson leaves it for Quenzi Hewerman. His ambitious strike is wasted and actually kicked all the way out of Widener Field.
Both these teams asking some big questions of each other. And Michieletto has had some late runs that have developed into some dangers. He obviously had one earlier that led to a corner. He was unable to get full control of it, but he is seeing space in front of him very well right now. And timing of some of these balls in behind have been spot on. But now can you reward yourself in that moment? And it'd be the same thing for San Antonio, because San Antonio is doing it in a different way. But we've seen this passing range. We saw the ball from Soto to Agudelo, and seen some of these areas that they've been able to unlock with those longer passes, and they've done it with quick transition.
Herrera could get 30th regular season shutout in his career next time out for the Switchbacks. He has 29 at the moment. Recently became the 18th league player to get 300 saves in his career as a challenge comes in and the referee goes to the pocket.
See that first touch from Michieletto, so clever.
Well, it's a yellow card for Amir Soto. Caution is sponsored by Diversis Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Switchbacks again on the front foot down this far side. The was clipped in. Oh, it nearly fell for Hewerman. On the near side, may have actually committed a foul in the end, trying to swing his boot through it. Madronda is still down for San Antonio after some good cover defensively.
I know it's always a topic of conversation when you see an early yellow card issued, but at the frenetic pace that this game is being played and the heavy involvement that you have from Soto both on and off the ball, that is a big early yellow card to pick up here 21 minutes in. And can you see the Switchbacks continue to ask questions of that San Antonio midfield and possibly force another play out of Soto.
Referee waves on advantage here for Fontana. Anthony Fontana to the byline. Cross is gobbled up by Nemani. It does feel like a classic case for the Switchbacks. You want to test Nemani as many times as you possibly can, surely.
And have not yet created that clear-cut chance. Obviously have done a lot of work in and around the box. A couple restarts that have gone astray, that have not been able to put Nemani in any sort of difficult decisions, so something they're going to want to rectify moving forward.
Here's Juan Tejada, cutting onto his right, flashing it wide of the target. The Switchbacks keep on pushing, with the fans behind them here at Widener Field.
And this is where you're going to have to find that balance between wanting to and being eager to test Nemani, but also upgrading the chance where you can, and I'm not saying that was a bad chance from Tejada, but you could see how eager the Switchbacks are to do it, and some of these chances have just not come off.
USL on CBS Sports Network continues. First week in July with 3 hot matchups. Birmingham against Charleston, 8 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, July 2nd. The Switchbacks welcome Louisville City on July 4th, Friday, a 9 p.m. game, Eastern Standard Time. And then Charleston against North Carolina, July 6th, 5 p.m. Eastern. All the action and more will be on CBS Sports Network. Certainly a juicy July upcoming. Both conferences, the race just continues to tighten up. Again, Jaeger Cup here, obviously, so much still to uncover as to who's going to advance, who grabs a wild card spot or two. The race at the USL Championship, particularly in the West, is about as tight as it could possibly be. It feels like the West continues to set new standards for playoff race drama year in and year out in the USL Championship.
I mean, the parity and the quality is real. I mean, any team could beat any team on any given weekend. We've seen it here throughout the season. Obviously, we've seen it in the Jägermeister Cup.
Just to reiterate, that's why this game is so important. The winner could be in great shape at the end of this weekend. As Micheletto heads that down, it's a critical touch away from Nicky Hernandez defensively for San Antonio. This is Aiden Rocha. Plays out to the far side. Switch of play by Colorado Springs. Under this near side, it's headed out of play, looking for Hewerman. It's a Switchbacks throw. There's Carlos Llamosa looking on, of course, wants San Antonio to do well in this competition. He talked to us about that earlier this week, but he's a bit handicapped at the moment with some of his squad selection. And that some of these youngsters and some of the guys that haven't gotten a lot of run this season could bail San Antonio out tonight. And of course, with Jaeger Cup in play, if it were to finish in a draw, both teams would get a point, and we would hash out the additional point from the penalty spot. That was the fate of New Mexico. That's why this group has kind of opened up a bit at the top. The winner tonight would be on 6 points, and if you win your game at the weekend, easier said than done, of course, you could have a one-way ticket, potentially, to the knockout phase.
San Antonio FC having their final 2 Group 2 play games played at home.
Yeah.
Colorado Springs Switchbacks travel to New Mexico United this weekend and then do host Texoma in USL League One the end of July.
Is Abdi Salim. We mentioned him earlier, just his second San Antonio appearance since signing that 25-day contract less than a week ago. Tejada following up with the Switchbacks, and then Fontana beaten to it. And again, San Antonio switch it onto this near side. Arrutia has time and space here for the visitors and plays a good ball across, but it's touched away by Matt Mahoney. It's a reset for Madronda and the visitors.
And in any match, regardless of how you approach it tactically, formationally, it's always about duels, winning the duels battle, and then the battle of distances. Can you get those battle of distances correct more often than not? And right now, Colorado Springs Switchbacks seem to be getting overshifted, a bit too compact in some areas, and we've seen this big pass either wide or forward has unlocked some of these isolated opportunities, because you look at both teams and the attacking halves, Colorado Springs Switchbacks are doing it more collectively. They're getting more numbers in and around the box, the ability to flood the box when that ball is wide. But San Antonio is equal to the task. Now their offense is a bit more isolated. It's been more 1v1, 2v2 matchups. It hasn't been as collective as the Switchbacks have looked. But they're still creating, and it's coming from that range, that ability to clip an accurate 40, 50-yard ball over the top, and it's going to be something that they're going to want to adjust to and at least get some of that far side defending a bit dropped off, or the spacing a bit further, so they can kind of negate some of that space.
Tejada. Past one defender, not the second. Going back for Namani. He puts San Antonio in a difficult spot here, but Hewerman commits the foul on Salim. That was a dangerous moment for San Antonio, playing out of the back. Hewerman, in the end, bails San Antonio out. About the history of the Switchback struggles against San Antonio. Carlos Llamosa's side's off the heels as the offside flag goes up there on the far side against Dmitry Yerofeev. San Antonio's coming off a heartbreaker just 4 days ago. It went to the lab against New Mexico in the league. Felt like at one point they were going to escape with a point when it was 2-2 down the stretch. What a critical red card that was picked up by Luis Paredes, who is on the bench tonight. He'll serve his suspension in the next league game. That changed everything. And New Mexico ended up winning it 4-2 at the end. In a game that it really felt like San Antonio kind of threw away. They didn't have the lead late, but it did feel like they threw a couple of, well, at least 1 point, off to the wayside. Western Conference, the USL Championship, you really don't want to throw any points away, particularly, as you rightly mentioned earlier, Coach, getting towards the halfway point of the season, and obviously teams are still trying to balance Jaeger Cup in there as well.
You go to a place like the Lab, and there are not places that are harder to go and get points than that place right there. And when you're have fought so hard and you're playing for that valuable point, you see it all dissipate so quickly.
Hewerman. Oh, and Fontana's touch was too firm. San Antonio clears it, but not definitively. Rocha from Real, trying to slide it back in for Fontana. It's cut out. Really ball up the other end. That cushioned header from Mahoney allows Colorado Springs to reset.
And that's where Carlos Llamosa has to feel good about what he's seeing from his team. They are not necessarily winning first and second defensive actions, but they are following it up with quality third and fourth actions.
Early ball in, looking for Micheletto. Touched away, Hewerman trying to follow up. And San Antonio maybe get a moment to reset here. Agudelo did all right. Lost out in the end, though. It's a Switchbacks throw. There is a San Antonio player down. It's Yerofeev.
The energy from both teams trying to make a play on the ball, as we see Duke Lacroix coming through the tackle.
Micheletto's ball in the middle, looking for Tejada, cleared away. The Atiro Price corner invests with confidence. Micheletto and Hewerman will the brain trust here. Micheletto has stayed there for a short corner.
Yeah, both have seen some early deliveries thus far and have not been able to put it around Namani, so something that they're going to want to do here and let the runs speak for themselves.
Played short for Micheletto, back for Hewerman. Tries to find a better angle and is stood up on this near side by Mendoza. And his cross is blocked. Nicoletto tries to follow up. San Antonio haven't cleared this yet. Handball appeals come in. Did that come off an arm? Off the clearance. Tejada tries to keep it alive. Real is in there as well. Nearly falls for Lacroix before it's cleared away. Couple of awkward moments for San Antonio in there, and then Nicoletto wins the ball back before being a bit too hasty and giving the ball away. Agudelo resets for San Antonio. And then a rare miscue pass there. Carlos Llamosa, unfortunately, not in the San Antonio kit. Couldn't receive it. And here's the look at the handball.
And I stand corrected in terms of their delivery into the box. They elect to go short, and it does look like it catches the right arm.
I think maybe proximity is the only thing that bails Soto out, who was also on a yellow card. Johnson tried to cross it. Another handball appeal came in. Tejada thought he had seen it strike a San Antonio arm. It's cleared away. And Agudelo is having to fight off 2 or 3 Switchbacks defenders. Loses out. Sunbelt Rentals, providing local hustle. And of course, national muscle. Ward skips past the initial challenge, but ran out of room. Huerman was there to help him. Nicoletto around the corner for Rocha. And Mahoney resets for Duke Lacroix, who has time and space to run into here. San Antonio let him get into their end pretty easily. It's then played across. It nearly fell for Fontana. He's cleared upfield again. Lacroix with some clever dribbling, but then he's dispossessed. And it's Shannon Gomez on that far side, clearing the San Antonio lines. A hold-up play from Agudelo. Erofeyev tried to switch it onto this near side. It's cut out. Nicoletto was too firm with his touch. He's dispossessed, but Madronda also couldn't get very far with it. Switchbacks haven't beaten San Antonio since 2019. Doesn't mean there haven't been some epic encounters in that time. We've had a couple of chaotic sequences here with 10 minutes left in the first half. Back for Herrera, joined the 300 save club. Last time out against Lexington, the 18th player in league history to achieve that mark. Finds Akeem Ward on this near side. And then Quincy Huerman, he's dispossessed. More great defensive work by Jimmy Madronda on this near side. Watch the USL in Spanish on 2DNA, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Oakland Roots take on Detroit City on July 5th at 10 p.m. Eastern. Go to USLChampionship.com for the full USL TV listings. Can the Fighting Benny Failhoppers keep this turnaround going? Got a big win the other night. See if the Roots revival may be on in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Of course, the Roots came here in the first round of the playoffs last season. USL Championship under then coach Gavin Glinton. It's the game that kind of kicked off the Switchbacks' run to the title last year. Oh, with that big regular season finale win at Sac Republic, those 2 wins really propelled the Switchbacks. Of course, they beat Orange County, Vegas, and then Rhode Island to win the whole thing.
Looking for it to all click. Colorado Springs Switchbacks are. They feel like they're building in both boxes. San Antonio FC got off to a flying start in the regular season is...
Speaking of flying.
Yeah.
Hernandez well over the top. The coach, Christian Herrera's been booked here. He came out of the 18-yard box to contest something that the referee either done or said. Switchbacks goalkeeper does see yellow, and this is the reason why he charges at the referee for his dissent. He picks up a yellow card. They're sponsored by Diversis Health. Mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe, and actually we'll amend that. Matt Mahoney got the Diversis Health yellow card, not Christian Herrera, though Christian Herrera came very close to picking up a yellow card. And now we've been told it's been changed back. It's Herrera who did pick up the yellow card. So apologies for some of that flip-flopping there. We've now been officially told and confirmed, what we were told briefly was not the case. Herrera is booked. That's fully confirmed. Matt Mahoney is not on a yellow card. San Antonio are on the ball. Played towards the near side of the 6, and it's headed down by Urrutia. And just wide. The youngsters had a couple of really good chances in this first half.
And what you've seen from San Antonio tonight thus far is they're with each other, but they have done a good job of selecting when they're pressing together, how they're pressing together, when they're dropping in, getting numbers behind the ball, when they want to cause that havoc to the Switchbacks in their build. And right now they have been high quality in those moments. They have not rewarded themselves with that clear chance. Obviously that one just a few moments ago being the closest of them, but I would dare to say that from both teams that have not forced either goalkeeper into a difficult save.
Urrutia is just 16 years old. For San Antonio, he's been their best chance of scoring in this first half.
And I mentioned briefly in the open when we reviewed these two teams, their last matchup with Colorado Springs, they had 9 shots total. Only two of those 9 shots were inside the 18-yard box, and both of those were the goals. So San Antonio, and this is something that they've done a good job of throughout the season and where they've found their success. And when I've talked to Carlos Llamosa earlier in the season, is something that they take a lot of value in, is protecting their box, making sure that opponents aren't easily able to upgrade or find areas closer to goal in attacking scenarios, and they've done that thus far tonight as well.
Huerman sliding it through. This is Levante Johnson who miscued his touch. And that gave San Antonio the opportunity to clear their lines. And that's poked back for Juan Tejada. Switchbacks again. An opportunity to create. This is a chance here. It's Fontana! Saved by Namani. Nearly Colorado Springs' big moment.
And just electric stuff from Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and the opportunity that they've been looking for. And they've done a lot of good in possession with their collective numbers, the ability to get those outside backs in and involved. But it's turning them over, San Antonio over in the build, is going to be really important.
T-Row Price corner, invest with confidence. Huerman and Micheletto still trying to figure out these set-piece deliveries tonight. The crowd continues to urge the Switchbacks on as Nicky Hernandez was pushed there inside the 18-yard box. Trevor Wiseman is on the scene to bring the piece. He's the best that he can. Can Colorado Springs find the breakthrough? Will be Micheletto. maneuvers to the edge of the 6. Chance for Johnson, who again just couldn't get it out of his feet quickly enough. But the Switchbacks do get a throw in.
The responsibility that San Antonio is defending with in those 1v1 situations has been spectacular tonight. I mean, they've come up with big play after big play when they've needed it the most. And sometimes those are the most nervy moments as a defender, when you know you're inside the 18-yard box. You can't make a mistake. You can't go in and step in because you might incur some physical contact that might earn the opponent a penalty. And they have been exceptional in those moments right now.
Johnson off the takeaway. Unleashed a laser beam, but could not hit the target as the Switchbacks are starting to pin San Antonio further and further back.
And again, coming off of a turnover, why wait when you can go right at goal? You turn the ball, you turn the opponent over, you get a pass off, and Levante Johnson knew exactly what he was going to do.
Hasn't scored in league play this season, Levante Johnson. He's come close to getting that first one off his back. As Mahoney gets the ball, there's a player down. It's Matt Real for the Switchbacks. I think this is a possible head injury here. Injury stoppages are presented by Common Spirit Health. Real may need a moment and some assistance here, although he's back up onto his feet as the medical staff arrives. Approaching first half stoppage time in this Group 2 encounter in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Second season of this competition. First year it's been expanded, of course, to involve not just USL League One sides, but of course the USL Championship. It gives us time to reiterate just how important this game is. The winner would go right to the top of the group on 6 points, and potentially, if they could back it up with another Jaeger win on Saturday, would be in pole position to grab a place in the knockout stage. From the restart, Real is back on. And the ball was touched out of play. On this near side, Hewerman was who they were looking for. We're into one additional minute of stoppage time, brought to you by the Tick-Tock Shop. Looks like the offside flag had gone up. It's a San Antonio free kick. It's clipped ahead, this far side, and again the hold-up play from Juan Agudelo. And he is dispossessed. That's a dangerous pass back. But Matt Mahoney and Christian Herrera are on the case. Final seconds of the first half at Widener Field. This will roll out of play for a Switchbacks throw. Hakeem Ward puts the ball back into play for Mahoney. As Mahoney moves the ball forward, the half ends in Colorado Springs. Well, certainly the Switchbacks had some opportunities. Fair play to San Antonio as well. They did have a couple of looks up the other end, but we remain at a 0-0 scoreline.
Yeah, for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, it's about rewarding themselves in some of those turnovers they're creating. You saw it a bit at the end of that first half. Turned San Antonio over and quickly went to goal. And for San Antonio, it's about finding that pocket that allows to kind of unleash some of the pressure they're incurring from Colorado Springs Switchbacks. You saw it early in the first half, and they were able to create, seeing that kind of go away as that half went on.
Well, 0-0 at the half, but the good news is there's still a pivotal 45 minutes still to come here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. No score between the Switchbacks and San Antonio in the USL Jägermeister Cup. We'll have plenty to come at halftime after the break.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at mcdivittlaw.com.
McDivitt.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
When I came back from the war, I was barely hanging on by a thread. I'm here today because of Tanya's relentless efforts in trying to get me healed. And says, Michael, I know you've got a plan to take your life today, but if you give me just 5 more minutes to love you. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, honey, 5 more minutes to love.
Michael has actually taught me what it looks like to accept help.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Common Spirit Health. It's 0-0 in the Jaeger Cup between Colorado Springs and San Antonio. We'll get the second half coming up in just a few moments. But first, tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match is Trevor Boyson, Digital Marketing Manager. Thank you, Trevor, for everything you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match is sponsored by Olson Plumbing and Heating. Again, we'll have some more coming up at the half in just a moment, but first, want to know more about how the USL does its thing? Here's a behind-the-scenes look.
Turn on your TV and get ready to be entertained. Few things can captivate us like...
But there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes.
Mike Friedman is the Vice President and Executive Producer at NEP Media Services. For USL National Broadcasts on CBS, Friedman's team is close to 40 people.
They're led by the producer and director. That's for any production. And then from there, you have associate directors, you have graphics people, you have replay people, you have the camera operators, you have engineers, you have tech managers, all working for that one common goal of a smooth broadcast.
Now, here's something you may not know. At NEP in South Florida, hundreds of broadcasts in the USL Championship, League One, and Super League are broadcast remotely. All stadium cameras feed directly to NEP. And just like a truck on site, camera shots are switched live, and there are eyeballs on the product. In April, CBS's production of Phoenix Rising FC at San Antonio FC peaked at 776,000 viewers.
The way we do TV for other sports is different than soccer. So it's finding that sweet spot of taking what people are used to seeing and adding that American TV touch into it.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at mcdivittlaw.com.
McDivitt.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
PTSD, depression, anxiety. I needed somebody to sit on my side of the table. Ray made that happen for me. KOAA, Channel 5, they care about the military, they care about the veterans. I've never seen this kind of care in my 80 years. Thank goodness for Bree helping me out. God put an angel in my life, and it just touched me so much.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Common Spirit Health halftime. It is Colorado Springs 0, San Antonio 0. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew. Happy to have you back here with us for some midweek Jaeger Cup action at Widener Field as we look around the Group 2 standings in the Jägermeister Cup. This is live as it stands right now. Of course, we would go to penalties potentially if this game ends in a draw. But again, just illustrates how important this game is for these two teams to potentially take hold of their own destiny in this competition.
It is, and for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, they go to New Mexico United this weekend for that third game in Group 2, and San Antonio host Union Omaha. So two big matchups in a week for both these teams that are surrounded with Jägermeister Cup games.
Union Omaha, good cup team for those that know them over the years. We'll see how all of that plays out. Here's kind of the full schedule coming up over this weekend. And my goodness, where do we start? We highlighted the Group 2, those big games coming up this weekend. Of course, Orange County Sac Republic is an important game. You look at Group 3 as well, some League One teams fighting for positioning there as well.
My eyes go to Group 4 as well.
Yeah.
You have Detroit City and Hartford. Hartford has 2 wins in that group, 6 points. Detroit City have 3 points with the 1 loss. And then Rhode Island has 6 points as well, so that group is wide open if some results go different ways.
And Loudoun could take a stranglehold over Group 5. They can beat Charlotte. Louisville kind of backtracking there in that group. Louisville, of course, just had their incredible unbeaten run ended on Fridays. Look at the news and notes from around Jaeger Cup and around the USL in general. North Carolina just love picking up big wins, seemingly out of the blue, but that was a huge win for them. And Orange County seemingly needed some reinforcements under Danny Stone. They pick up the Scottish Youth International in Stephen Kelly, who played with Livingston in the Scottish Premiership. And then, speaking of unbeaten runs, Spokane have been riding the wave in League One as of late. And for them, over the Richmond Kickers, we're going to keep that rolling in the right direction. We're rolling towards another break, but we'll be back in a moment with some highlights, some stats, and the second half kick in the Jaeger Cup.
At 6,035 feet above sea level, Widener Field is the highest professional pitch in all of the United States. We breathe harder. We breathe deeper. We breathe stronger. Our presence is elevated. Because we make Widener Field a nightmare for teams to play. This is a fortress. We engage with our community and our fans. We inspire the next generation of athletes. We approach every situation with humility. We are resilient in the face of adversity. Because we are the Switchbacks FC.
doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Bomb's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Bomb's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan off Annie. Take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
3 ice-cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Here it comes again. It's scored. The Legion double their lead. Torres swinging it. Charleston gets one right back.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you. We jump into first half highlights, and Coach, no goals, but certainly no shortage of opportunities for both teams.
Then you have to feel like both coaches and both teams felt like they grew into their identity and their style of play for tonight, because San Antonio absorbed well, but also chose some prime opportunities to go press the Switchbacks and turn them over. And they've unlocked some dangerous space with this long passing range, the ability to find some space in behind. This throw-in coming off a moment where they did press the Switchbacks into a mistake, and Herrera had to play out, but none of these opportunities equaling a shot on target, this one being the closest of them all. And for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, have done it with possession, but towards the end of the first half, saw a heavy dose of pressure and turnovers that they were forcing, and they were not allowing San Antonio to get set after the turnover. They went right at goal, and they caused some major problems and started to ask some serious questions.
Well, we're told it is going to be the same 11s that started the game. That'll begin the second half here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. Again, thanks to everybody sticking around with us. We had the weather delay at the start of the match. Skies have cleared up since then. Both teams trying to pick up what would be a gigantic 3 points here. Group 2 of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Teams switch sides at the start of the second half. Colorado Springs will be going from right to left in their home blacks with the blue trim. San Antonio, as they always seem to wear here at Widener Field, are in their road whites with the light blue numerals. Colorado Springs trying to end a 6-year drought, a 14-game run without a win over San Antonio. You have to go back to March 23rd, 2019. Colorado Springs beat San Antonio by 1-0, and they haven't beaten them since in any competition. Ball's going to find its way through over the top here. Urrutia, the 16-year-old, miscontrols it. It goes out for a switchback. So we were talking off air about how well San Antonio's done considering how many changes they've had to make tonight.
Yeah, you almost expected a bit more of a disjointed group. You thought that you were going to see some gaping holes defensively. You thought you were going to see some missed passes or some plays that just went awry offensively, because especially when you lack some space in the final third. But I mean, they have done well to grow themselves into the match and pick and choose some of these dangerous opportunities and moments that they can go forward. Now, can you sustain that? Can you use that as your building block and not only sustain but grow more into it in terms of what you can create, how you create?
Real trying to play it across off the feed from Johnson. It's out for a switchbacks throw.
And unfortunately right there has kind of encompassed the switchbacks in the final third. They have flooded the box. They have done a good job of getting good numbers. They've done it collectively. But they just have not been able to add that hint of that second, third run, the recycled run, the run that pulls them apart.
Nice pirouette from Micheletto. And quick feet to keep that ball going. His cross was blocked. Keeps it in play on the byline. And tried a cheeky little back heel into traffic. It was picked off. Roach's pressure. Really wins it back for Colorado Springs. We've had a couple of successful represses tonight. Quickly winning the ball back, and they'll reset with Ward at the back.
And the switchbacks ended that first half flying. A lot of energy, a lot of tenacity on the press and the repress. Gonna look to keep that going. Again, create that one quality look that you want when you're causing the havoc and the chaos that you are. Because in the beginning of the first half, you did see San Antonio find a pocket of space where they were able to find that initial ball. They were able to find that initial outlet that relieved that pressure. And then towards that 30th minute and on, switchbacks really ramped it up and just did not allow them any opportunity to get out. And you see that extending itself into the second half here.
Doug Huerman thought he was twisted and turned and brought to the ground. Referee Trevor Wiseman said nothing doing, and San Antonio tried to break down this far side, but ball's too far out in front of Urrutia. This is the only Jaeger Cup game of the night. This weekend, of course, is jam-packed with more, as we highlighted during the halftime break. There were two other USL Championship regular season games tonight. Louisville with an impressive win at Loudoun. How many times have they met already this season in all competitions? The free kick is given here. And Tampa Bay coming back to beat Indy 11 as well as an underline set piece opportunity. Go to underline.com/COS. That's gigabit fiber internet coverage. Big win for the Rowdies, who were down against Indy. Come back and get a 3-1 win. Boy, did they need that. As Huerman chases this ball down, Namani slides in for San Antonio.
Yeah, we've touched on the balance that all these teams are facing when you mix in the regular season, you mix in Jägermeister Cup games. And with the 4 less regular season games that you have with the addition of the Jägermeister Cup, you look at a team like the Tampa Bay Rowdies and even the Colorado Springs Switchbacks right now, the time is now to start making that move up the standings. And we also touched on how you could use these games to grow in confidence and have that collective performance, start stacking games and results to really help you in the standings as well.
Switch to this near side. Levante Johnson trying to pick out Matt Real, and it's really well shepherded out of play by Shannon Gomez on the defensive side. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. It's your ticket to great seats. Here's Herrera. Back for Mahoney. Switchbacks coming into the night. We're 10th in the Western Conference. 1 point off the top 8, but they're also a point or two off the bottom of the West as well. Kind of going back to how tight everything is, particularly in the West. San Antonio coming in the night, we're in 4th. Of course, they're very vulnerable in that spot. There's other teams that are not far off that either. But of course, San Antonio's not far off the top of the table, where New Mexico currently sit.
Yeah, going into that match at New Mexico United, had a possibility of moving into the top spot with 3 points. Good outlet here.
Levante Johnson assesses the scene and puts in a decent cross. It falls for a chance here. Hewerman, and then Fontana headed off the line. Follow up by Duke Lacroix to reset. Hewerman on the far side, gets to the byline and wins a corner. Switchbacks do look for a penalty. Oh, did he win a corner? The referee points for a goal kick.
This is going to be those 4th actions defensively after they get broken and after they have to deal with some of the opportunities that the Switchbacks are creating. How long can you continue to invite that kind of pressure? Because you've got to stay switched on. You've got to make sure your details are buttoned up and ready to go, and we're starting to see some of that area and some of that space become available for the Switchbacks, whereas we talked about some of the range that San Antonio had early in the first half and that pocket of space they had to initially play out of pressure, that has kind of evaporated from the Switchbacks standpoint in terms of defensively. They've done a good job of initial ball press, and they've done a good job with their spacing. So they're not inviting that long ball, inviting that ball into space, and they're going to chase down.
Johnson, who actually had a good view of where he was on the field, caught offside there needlessly. Can the Switchbacks find that breakthrough? We've said it time and time again, particularly when they play San Antonio. Never been able, of course, to put them away. Of course, the last meeting earlier in April, great example of that. Have had 2 shots on target, Switchbacks, none yet for San Antonio. But have certainly had some positive moments.
And the Switchbacks did win the possession battle in their regular season matchup. I would also add another piece that I always find that it does come to define itself and kind of morph itself into the game is touches in the opposition box. Right now, 14 for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, only 3 for San Antonio.
Johnson, his shot blocked. Recovers it from Matt Real, who whips the cross in. It's headed high into the air by Madronda, only as far as Quincy Hewerman. Micheletto lays it off. Fontana tried to feed it for Tejada, it nearly fell for him. San Antonio clears it out for a Colorado Springs throw. The referee will stop the play there. Looks like there's going to be a substitution for Colorado Springs. They're brought to you by UCCS, where business careers start. That's going to be it for Levante Johnson, a player that really needs to get going for the Switchbacks. Yosuke Hanya look to make this a big, big night for him. Another big returnee from the championship team last year, hasn't scored yet in the USL Championship. Boy, they could use a lift from him.
Has all the capabilities and the qualities to be that sustained threat for the Switchbacks. And that is somebody that James Chambers mentioned, the whole group, in terms of this whole group is growing into form. to your point, Skehania is somebody that could do it in a variety of different ways. So waiting for him to get into form and that'll really jumpstart this whole collective.
Oh, San Antonio could have had a break on there, but Lacroix snuffs it out and does find Marco Micheletto, who strides forward here and lets the shot go, but it was blocked away, and frankly, he didn't have much space to really aim at the goal there. And San Antonio looked to break up the other end, but the offside flag is going to go up against Juan Agudelo. Sunbelt, remember they have low finishing touch as Fontana floated that forward for Tejada. It's then headed back to Namani by Jimmy Madronda.
My concern for San Antonio absorbing this kind of pressure is how early do you retreat into your own 18-yard box? You saw the touch from Micheletto just a few moments ago. It seemed to be a bit long, and it seemed to be putting him into a 1v1 tackle, but San Antonio had already committed to dropping all the way back into their own 18-yard box, giving him the space to continue the play. Does that signify something that might become available later down the line? Now for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, they retreat, you pin them in their own 18-yard box. Now, does that penalty spot area become available? Because right at the top of the 18-yard box, if you get Micheletto, if you get Yosuke Hanya in those areas, are you able to punish San Antonio there?
Well, San Antonio is going to make 3 changes here. To see 2 more of the Academy players that were just signed brought on. Landry Walker, who's actually in his 2nd season as a San Antonio Academy product, and Braylon Jernigan, who just signed yesterday again, is also going to come on. Luis Paredes, who is eligible to play tonight, not in the next league game, is going to come on. Almir Soto, who's on a yellow card, is going to come out. Urrutia is also going to come out. Abdi Salim will exit as well on this triple substitution, which is brought to you by UCCS, where businesses, careers start. Again, Walker and Jernigan were just brought into the fold yesterday. Walker, again, 2nd-year product, the SAFC Pro Academy, and has been a U.S. Youth national team call-up in the past, number 42 in white, and of course, Paredes provides more of the experience there. But clearly, a combination of experience being added, and then from the Academy product side, some fresh legs as we approach the hour mark. Christian Herrera, speaking of which, is getting stretched out here for Colorado Springs. Is an injury stoppage presented by Common Spirit Health. Half an hour to play. Remember, if it stays like this, we would, in that particular case, go to a penalty kick shootout. Both teams would get 1 point that's guaranteed and would fight for an additional point that'll be decided from the spot. San Antonio will restart it here. Lexi Zwahi will clip it up ahead, put it into a dangerous area here, and Colorado Springs win it back with Fontana, who ends up losing out to Walker. And then on the far side, it's a miscued touch by Paredes, out for a throw-in for Colorado Springs. Hewerman kept kept off it by Madronda. It's a lovely give and go, and a give and go again for Paredes, who finally gets control of it. He gets inside the 18-yard box and plays it across, and there's no applying of the finishing touch on the back end. Paredes couldn't have done much more.
Eerily similar outlet to the pass they saw against Lexington SC that broke to score that opener on Friday night. What a play from San Antonio. Paredes just gets it caught underneath his feet. He almost felt like if he was able to get a quick release there, that would have really put the Switchbacks into trouble.
And nobody there to get on the end of what was a decent cross into the middle. On the back end here, Tejada brought down. It's a Switchbacks free kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Here comes San Antonio again down this far side. A little chop towards the byline. Paredes buries it! Talk about an instant impact off the bench. Luis Paredes gives San Antonio the lead at Widener Field in the Jägermeister Cup. And will this curse go on for Colorado Springs?
I thought it was quality match management before the changes, and now you bring on a player like Paredes. He has been able to insert himself and make an immediate impact. He has been front-footed. He has been courageous with the opportunity to go forward. As soon as that ball is turned over, you could see him climbing the field. You could see him really asking his teammates to play that ball in, and he gets himself isolated 1v1 inside the box. He's got that quick release and the composure and poise to tuck it away.
The 24-year-old Colombian has scored once in the league this season. He's now scored a pivotal Jägermeister Cup goal here for San Antonio. And is it gonna happen again to Colorado Springs? Challenge comes in there, Suwahi holding his face as he collided with Tejada. Referee on the scene to examine what just happened.
Ball rolls out of play, and both players continue.
Suwahi pushes Tejada down. Didn't look like there was a ton of contact, really. If anything, it was a feint. I mean, obviously the eye area is very sensitive, to be fair, but from that view, it didn't look like there was a ton of contact. Remember, even in Jägermeister Cup, of course, there's no VAR to go back and check a situation like that. You can feel some of the anxiety start to seep into the Widener Field faithful here. They've seen this happen too many times against San Antonio.
Well, we were talking about some of the regular season numbers earlier in this second 45, 21 goals against for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. That's top 5.
The underline free kick there, delivering gigabit fiber internet, underline.com/COS. Can the Switchbacks recover this? Hewerman into the middle, Tejada's header. Get the best of contact on it, and it's a goal kick.
The team that feels like they are not firing on all cylinders, but they're getting to that point where they can start making a run. But it does seem like they need to manage some of these loud moments a bit better, because they've created some dangerous chances, albeit only in and around the box. They have not forced Nemani into a difficult save. Obviously, Levante Johnson in the first half took one from distance that Nemani had to parry over the bar, but besides that, have not upgraded themselves into an opportunity where they had a clear look at goal. And then Paredes comes on, and a few moments later, he's able to upgrade and tuck one away.
Hewerman. Oh, it was nearly headed on target by Yosuke Hanya after Tejada was in the vicinity, and it bounces out of play.
This is good layers to their runs, and this is what you want to see. You want to see all focus go on that first ball, and you see Yosuke Hanya followed up with a high-quality far post run, unable to guide that on frame.
McDivitt Law Firm corner. McDivitt's in your corner. Switchbacks are getting some changes ready. We'll get to that in a moment. Hewerman short for Micheletto. Back for Hewerman. And Hewerman sends it over the bar as the set piece problems continue for the Switchbacks. And now the two substitutions brought to you by UCCS. The business career start will take place here. Quincy Hewerman and Akeem Ward are both going to exit here. Jonas Fjellberg, who has scored a goal in the league this season, and of course, Zach Zandy, who's had some big moments over the years, particularly in the playoff run last year for Colorado Springs. Could he come on and be a savior here in the Jaeger Cup? Or are San Antonio going to do another job over the Switchbacks here at Widener Field? There's that old saying, some teams just have your number, and San Antonio's holding on to that number really tightly again tonight. Ball rolled out of play. As we'll tell you again that Sunbelt Rentals have local hustle and national muscle. But there's still time, of course, to negotiate it.
Yeah, and I know there's going to be a sense of here we go again for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, but with penalties in play in the Jägermeister Cup, I mean, you have plenty of time to get one back, and then you force this to penalties with the result of New Mexico United and Phoenix. You can pick up 2 points.
It's a Diversis Health yellow card for Shannon Gomez for time wasting here. Mental health and well-being problem. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Clearly, James Chambers and the Switchbacks were keeping their own clock on Shannon Gomez there, and the referee agreed that he took too much time, and another yellow card comes out for Juan Agudelo for dissent. Another Diversis Health yellow card, and maybe Juan Agudelo needs a moment to take a breath.
Well, especially for San Antonio, coming off of what they saw that result become at New Mexico United, that late red card to Paredes, and then kind of unraveled after that.
Real, who he tried to thread the needle for Fontana, it just didn't quite get into his path.
You just don't want to replicate emotions getting too high. Obviously, you just got Gomez on a yellow for time wasting, and then Agudelo picks up yellow just a few seconds afterwards.
Tejada gets a shot away, blocked away. And then it's Yosuke Hanya. And it deflected back off of Hanya, out for a goal. And there's going to be another substitution, it looks like, here at UCCS. Sub where business careers start. Another look, though, at the shot.
That ball just gets away, and Tejada gets a clean look at goal.
Here's that UCCS change. Dylan Mendoza is going to come off here. Lucio Baron is going to take his place. A player that's gotten a decent amount of minutes for San Antonio this season, but hasn't scored in the league this campaign as of yet. San Antonio this season has had 11 different goal scorers in the USL Championship. Both from Paredes has San Antonio potentially on the cusp of taking complete control of Group 2 in the Jägermeister Cup and potentially delivering a big hammer blow to the Switchbacks' chances of progression. Ball is clipped down the line for Fjellberg to chase, and Fjellberg will win a throw-in.
We've seen it on display tonight, and we've seen it on display in the first half of the regular season from San Antonio. Their ability to be flexible, to be adaptable to what the game needs and what the game is asking and demanding from them has put them in the position that they're in right now in the standings.
Fjellberg lays it off. It's going to be Matt Real who passes it through, and on the rebound, it's Tejada. But did it come off a teammate on the goal line? I think it did, and this is going to be chalked out for offside. Can you believe that?
Fjellberg comes on and immediately creates here. Real takes it from distance and puts it right on Nemani, but you got to imagine that if that ball doesn't touch Tejada, who's on the ground there, then the goal would stand.
Nemani is still down here. My goodness, the Widener Field faithful can't believe what's just happened here. Looked like it was actually Fontana who followed up and couldn't get it past Nemani. So credit the goalkeeper for initially making the stop, but then Tejada's shot hit off of Fontana.
Just unable to clip it over Fontana, because you got to feel like if he had gotten a clean finish on it, because what's bringing this back is Fontana being offside.
And it's another injuries stoppage here. Brought to you by Common Spirit Health. There's been moments in this rivalry over the years where you just go, how did that just happen to Colorado Springs? And there is another one to add to the list. Looked like a assured equalizer, only for a moment of madness to see it get chalked out. And to be fair to Anthony Fontana, there's not much more he could have done. He got to the ball, kept it in play, but lost his balance over the connection with Nemani and couldn't move out of the way in time. Challenge there as the Widener Field faithful get a little bit more restless here. It's going to be a San Antonio free kick. 15 minutes plus stoppage time to go. A couple of changes as well. That's by UCCS. This is career start. Isaiah Foster. And Charlie Adams going to come on here. Micheletto and Juan Tejada are going to make way. Two players that could certainly help to turn this around. 15 minutes plus stoppage time. The Switchbacks at the bare minimum want to try and grab an equalizer here to send this to penalties. Football is here. Live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. It's free to play. Download now.
I know that frustration is gotta be right at that surface level for the Switchbacks, but to the point you just made, there's still plenty of time to pull a goal back, and depending on when you can pull that goal back, you can go ahead and push for all 3 points. But at minimum, push this game to penalties.
Ball's clipped in. It is headed down. And Herrera is there. Not enough venom in it, trying to find Juan Agudelo inside the 18-yard box, and Adams leads the Switchbacks forward. Adams tries to thread the needle. That's a foul. It's a free kick. It's going to be a yellow card, looks like to Zach Zandy. Versus health, yellow card, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. I think I've got that memorized now, Coach. Sandy booked. Sandy scored that huge extra time winner in the playoffs last year here against Orange County. The heels of a couple of seasons filled with nasty injuries. He's really become a hometown favorite here over the years. He's been on some really good teams. But of course, has not been on a team that's beaten San Antonio. It's pretty rare in a career that you could say you've won the big trophy before you've beaten a certain rival in your own conference. But that is the case. Aiden Rocha lead Colorado Springs forward. Adams will reset. Awkward clearance down this near side, and a bit of an awkward header from Isaiah Foster. San Antonio can't clear it. Real for Foster, and then Foster gives it away. Agudelo fighting for space there. He's fouled by Duke Lacroix. 10th yellow card. And Lacroix trying to avoid showing his frustrations after this.
Yeah, this is what the Switchbacks don't want to see happen, is this game get the air taken out of it. Them not to be able to control the temperature of this match because they need to get back in this game.
There's San Antonio's last change. Gomez off. Leo Jauregui comes on. Another of those Academy products. 5 of them were signed yesterday to be a part of this squad. All 5 of them have played.
Well, and this speaks to the clarity of the messaging from Carlos Llamosa, his coaching staff, their identity, because when you can make the changes that you've made tonight and absorb some of the bigger moments that the Switchbacks have created, but also manage this match to where you are up 1-0 going into 10 minutes left. I mean, the shots are heavily in favor of the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, but yet you hold the advantage. 5 shots on target for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, 1 for San Antonio, and that one being the one you see on the scoreboard. 15 shots total for the Switchbacks to 6 for San Antonio.
10 minutes left. Can Colorado Springs salvage something here? Even having that point would keep them in the mix in the Jaeger Cup. A loss would be a damaging blow to their hopes. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ES platform, USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings.
We've touched on how teams can use results in the Jägermeister Cup to springboard some of their regular season results. What you don't want it to do, if on the flip side, if it lingers and that negative results bleed into the regular season for the Switchbacks, you still have a Jägermeister Cup match on the road on Saturday. Then you have Lou City at home when you welcome back regular season play on July 4th.
Advantage is played here for Paredes, who's already scored. Chops it back towards the byline here. San Antonio could seal it. But the shot, albeit from a tight angle, is flashed wide by Dmitry Eurofeyev, who really hasn't had much of a kick.
I was going to say, not much involvement. And then here, terrific timing. That final touch just puts him in a tough angle. You almost need to wait for another runner, but it did look like he had waited long enough for some late entries. Just wasn't able to fire this ball back across the face of goal.
Of course, these two teams will meet one more time in the regular season, October 4th, here at Widener Field. As it stands, they'll meet with San Antonio having gone 15 in a row without defeat in all competitions, if it holds. James Chambers on the right-hand side of your screen, just off the field, hoping that the Switchbacks still have a late comeback in them. Go to this near side where Zach Zandy, he's tripped up by Agudelo, who's already been booked. And Christian Herrera's asking the question, if some of those earlier challenges were enough for a yellow, how is that not enough?
Yeah, I think we're all thinking the same thing. I mean, kind of a casual clip there, and Agudelo very fortunate.
Coaches and players talk all the time about just wanting some consistency from the referees here. That should be a second yellow card, surely.
Yeah, you can see Zandy take that touch, and Agudelo almost looks to try to pull out of the tackle, but it committed already.
Very similar to some of the other challenges where we've seen yellow cards come out. San Antonio there may have just caught a huge break.
You got to believe that these are going to be areas that you're going to see an all-out blitz from the Switchbacks. Although you can see the throw in, you want to make sure you're occupying man for man, trying to get a quick turnover so you could go right at goal. Don't even let San Antonio get set.
Coming down on the final 5 minutes of normal time in the Jaeger Cup tonight. Now down this near sideline, Adams trying to poke it forward. San Antonio having the answers here defensively. Then Adams resets for Lacroix. Real. Not enough accuracy in the chip. And both teams are in action again this weekend in Jaeger Cup. Colorado Springs goes to the Lab, take on New Mexico, and if it holds this result, that could be for their Jaeger Cup lives at Isotopes Park. And San Antonio are home to Union Omaha from USL League One. Again, if they win tonight and then win that game, they might not get caught here in Group 2. That might be enough to finish the deal. At least put yourself in pole position. Pressure from Foster, and then Real. Adams for Isaiah Foster. Fjellberg. And miscontrolled by Foster. That was a tough take. And it just goes back to crediting San Antonio and their exploits here tonight. Carlos Llamosa and this group, this much changed side with, again, mixing in some teenagers. Other players haven't played a lot this year. And San Antonio is 4 minutes in stoppage time away. A release from at the start of the game, but an unlikely win. Of course, the context of the fixtures history, of course, San Antonio always have a chance. They always get something off of Colorado Springs. But again, when you look at the lineups, you would have thought it's a big chance for Colorado Springs at home to get the 3 points. And unless they pull off a miraculous turnaround here, they will have left something on the table again.
Yeah, it's just fascinating because out of all of those competitions and all of those matchups, we know football well enough that every match is such a different story. Every match presents such different opportunities, different situations, different scenarios. And you looked at the matchup tonight and you thought this was a prime opportunity for the Switchbacks. But I'll go back and harp on that clarity, that identity, that commitment from San Antonio. This is a team that going into tonight, as we see now the foul on Charlie Adams in the yellow, that has 5 clean sheets in the regular season, one of the top clubs in the USL Championship.
Versus health, yellow card, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Charlie Adams, former Lights player, former San Diego Loyal player for a long time, Orange County. He's seen it all, just about. San Antonio played in for Juan Agudelo. By the way, not to belabor the point, but Adams picks up a yellow for that. Juan Agudelo should have been sent off for that second yellow card.
Yeah, and it would have been in a crucial moment where you have plenty of time for the Switchbacks.
San Antonio here will get a chance to wrap it up with Paredes, who does just that. Check and mate for San Antonio against Colorado Springs yet again. A brace for Paredes. And the San Antonio curse lives on for the Switchbacks, even in the Jägermeister Cup.
And a brace for Paredes, and Agudelo, the composure to command all of that attention, and then the recognition of once that space closes down, that Paredes was open in that isolated moment. The composure that he has showcased since coming on in this second half has been tremendous. And I hate to bring up the red card that he had taken the previous match at New Mexico United, but I would dare to say has atoned for that and came out with that singular purpose.
Paredes was booked for taking the corner flag and using it as a pool cue to put the 8 ball in the corner pocket. Versus health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. That goal should seal the points for San Antonio. And it's going to be 15 running without a win for the Switchbacks against San Antonio, as we are into 6 minutes of stoppage time, brought to you by the TikTok Shop. Incredible. Yosuke Hanya driving towards the penalty area. He stood up, but it will be touched out for a McDivitt Law Firm corner. We're in your corner. Switchbacks are gonna have to take this quickly here. It's put back into play immediately for Adams. And then Adams puts it right back out of play.
Goals.
Who had only scored 1 goal in the league all season, and he's got a brace tonight. Talk about a next man up mentality from San Antonio. That's been really the big storyline coming out of this game. Just how many changes they had to make, how many academy products they had to bring up from the SAFC Pro Academy. And potentially, in just one result, the bright future that some of these young players could have. They've certainly at least played a small role in this tonight. As Fjellberg puts more pressure on here, Switchbacks will get a throw in.
And one of the topics of conversation for San Antonio going into that New Mexico United match was putting together their attacking box presence, that clinical nature that they were looking for. They felt like they were creating chances, but they just weren't converting. I mean, you talk about efficiency tonight.
there's a microcosm of the Switchbacks night. Just not enough quality touches and finishing in the final third.
Well, and to kind of expand on that point, from my point of view, from the coaching side of it, in 20 years, you look at how much data we've brought into the game. We look at how much analysis we've brought into the game. It's always so mind-boggling sometimes when you sit down and you go over the numbers. I mean, you look at it right now, Colorado Springs Switchbacks, their XG is higher than San Antonio. And you see why when you see the game unfold. That's where week to week, match by match, what numbers, what data points are you looking at?
This is Fjellberg laying it off. It's just past the arriving Zandy. That could have been a chance to at least have the deficit. One back by Adams. Hanya on this near side brought down. Play continues. Foster a push and a chase. He runs into no man's land. 3 white shirts there to meet him. San Antonio win the ball back. Real. Foster down the line for Hanya. Foster then whips the ball in. Oh, that was a real chance. Flashed across the face of goal again, and even the lunging Fontana was not able to get there.
And again, when you go back and you look at the data, you analyze and review all the numbers, you're still going to have to go back and pinpoint some of the plays that were there to be made. And unfortunately, just didn't make them, whether it was just step away. They're probably going to look at the numbers, and it's going to tell a different tale for both sides.
Nemani was just booked for time wasting for San Antonio. Now that diverse his health. Yellow card. Quite a few of them in this second half. A minute and a half left from another memorable night for San Antonio here in Colorado Springs. The last time San Antonio were here in the league, Luis Solignac, Lucho, had a stoppage time winner for San Antonio after they were 1-0 down. About 15 minutes left in the game. Alan Marcinez then, San Antonio, stole all 3 points and kept their playoff hopes alive at that particular juncture in last season's playoff chase. Of course, unfortunately for SAFC, they did not get it over the line in the end. They missed out. Even go back to the 2022 championship run for San Antonio. They beat the Switchbacks in the playoffs that year. And it's in this plethora of victories and draws. And San Antonio looked to put a cherry on top of the sundae here, but they will take it to the corner with Nicky Hernandez in the final seconds. And Hernandez, he hit it off a Switchbacks player. Eventually the referee says it's going to be a Pepsi corner. Pepsi, that's what I like. Try to end the hoodoo against San Antonio. October 4th, San Antonio will be back here in the league. Be the next chance the Switchbacks have to finally end this drought.
And with the ambition of both these clubs, you can only imagine what's going to be riding on that match. And you're going to have a motivated Colorado Springs Switchback side that falls tonight. They just were unable to make the plays when they were there to be made. And credit to San Antonio, though, the commitment to get behind the ball. They converted some of those louder defensive moments, that defensive posture, and converted 2 big opportunities from Paredes. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Did a terrific job of absorbing when they needed to, but also countering when they could.
15 in a row for San Antonio without defeat. against Colorado Springs. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Luis Paredes is the hero with his brace tonight. And now we take a look back at some of the big moments from the night. Critical moment of the match is brought to you by Common Spirit Health. This is one of the best switchback opportunities, but that critical header off the line kind of helped San Antonio hang around.
And this was a spell in the game where San Antonio began to retreat in their own box quicker and quicker, becoming more of space available. Big intervention there defensively, and that was a loud moment for San Antonio.
Colorado Springs man of the match is brought to you by Groom Transportation. Marco Micheletto had some bright moments, particularly in the first half. Kind of like the Switchbacks as a whole, it kind of fizzled out a little bit in the chance creation in the second half.
Yeah, it was heavily involved in that first and second wave of the attack, and then where they sputtered was that third and fourth wave for the Switchbacks, and that's where Micheletto really initiated a lot of the play, was heavily involved, really moved a lot of pieces from San Antonio FC defensively around, but just unable to find that breakthrough they needed.
Another memorable night for San Antonio, this time in the Jaeger Cup against Colorado Springs, and San Antonio win it by 2-0 in Group 2 tonight. We'll wrap it up after the break.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at McDivittLaw.com.
McDivitt.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Well, it's going to be a really fun trip back for those two. The San Antonio fans that have made the trip have enjoyed another win over Colorado Springs here at Widener Field tonight. They win in the Jaeger Cup by 2 Luis Paredes goals to 0. Sean St. Jacques, Eric DeBranski, your entire crew. Let's go back through the full-time match highlights presented by McDivitt Law Firm. Luis Paredes came on as a second-half substitute, and he became a super sub in double quick time.
And it was his ability to just climb the field at a rapid rate. You can see it as soon as that ball is regained, he is looking to go forward. He is progressive, he is positive, and then gets himself isolated 1v1. And then credit to the runs off the ball, because they occupied the switchbacks and didn't allow some of that help to come over. And Paredes pushes that ball past, immediately makes an offensive impact for San Antonio, and that impact continued. Saw a number of chances for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and this ended up being one of the unfortunate ones where Real makes contact from outside the box. Fontana follow up, Nemani makes the save, and then Tejada hits it right off Fontana, who is in an offside position, so that goal is called back. And then Paredes gets on a Juan Aguadello pass, quick transition, again finds himself isolated 1v1, manipulates that space, tucks it away. That was enough for San Antonio to pick up all 3 points.
8-ball corner pocket for San Antonio at the end. Groom Transportation, full-time match stats, a ton of shots for Colorado Springs. A third of those shots were on target, but again, the lack of clinical abilities in the final third comes back to haunt the Switchbacks.
Yeah, they just were not able to upgrade in some of the chances and some of the moments they needed to. And credit to San Antonio, they were better without the ball. They defended collectively, they were committed to what they were trying to do. That identity showcased itself. They were able to absorb and manage some of the big moments from the Switchbacks, and then created some chances of their own, and obviously converted the 2 shots on target.
Another tough pill to swallow for Colorado Springs. It's a hammer blow to their Jaeger Cup hopes. San Antonio may now have the inside track in Group 2 to getting to the knockout stage. Final scores presented by Common Spirit Health. San Antonio beats Colorado Springs again here at Widener Field by 2-0. And they've now gone 15 games unbeaten in all competitions against the Switchbacks. For Eric Dobransky and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. So long from Widener Field. San Antonio does it again to the Switchbacks.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.